For Wednesday night, March 4th, 2020, this is your Wednesday night edition of the RCWR show. Lee Sanders here. Good God Almighty, a very sick Lee Sanders. I'm still recovering from the flu. Appreciate everybody. I'm telling you, those of you that are just now joining us live, you would have experienced a little taste of some of the technical difficulties that I was having in setting up the stream earlier today, thinking everything was good to go, but no, apparently. I won't bore you with the tech mumbo jumbo stuff, but I have been recovering from the flu since this past weekend, believe it or not. And I think the last show we did for you guys was the AEW Revolution pay-per-view event. And actually, the past couple of weeks, I have been dealing with some type of cold, but it full-blown flu. Definitely the weekend of AEW Revolution, and it was so bad going to work Monday. Just wham, it got even worse. So I have not been back to work. I have not done a podcast since AEW Revolution. And bless my boss and everybody at work. They were, thinking about me and, how you doing? And it was a day by day. I've been bedridden pretty much all week. Today was really the first opportunity I was able to really kind of move around a little bit. So way I'm feeling right now, I feel like I'm at about 70%. As you can hear in the voice, I do not have full strength. So what I'm going to do is, rather than have this be a long, drawn out show, doing the traditional 2 hour plus show we're going to do, I'm going to keep it very conservative tonight and try to get as much rest as possible, because even though I'm at 70%, first time this week I'm going to be going back to work. I'm going to be going by the office because I'm behind on a lot of stuff. So I'm going to check in and get up to date on some stuff, make that money, because that wedding's coming up, man. Got less than 2 months to go, and that wedding is right around the corner. So appreciate everybody's time and patience in dealing with me, knowing I'm not at a full 100% here. But we're going to do about an hour. I know that's going to piss some people off, but it's better than not having there be a show at all. I'm looking at the counter, and whatever we're not able to dive into tonight, if I'm feeling better towards the weekend, I will gladly give you guys another hour. I would rather it be a case where if I can't do a traditional 2-hour show like we normally do Wednesday nights, if I can just give you 1 hour tonight and then come back a couple of nights later and give you another hour or hour 15 to make up, I would rather do that than try to force something knowing damn well I really need to keep to my limit. So we'll see how this goes tonight. So I did watch NXT. AEW. I did also check out this week's NWA as well, NWA Power. I got to tell you, for WWE NXT and AEW this week, both shows did pretty damn good. If you're following me on social media, I was kicking back, and as I always do every single week, I'm simulcasting both shows. Normally I go with the channel back and forth, and it's been a case where, okay, what's going on with the Verizon Files app? Because if the Files app is working, then I'm in there, I'm doing my thing, and I can watch the big screen, and I can have the Files app running on my tablet while I'm watching another channel. And so it was nice to be in a position where I could do that tonight, watching both shows at the same time, not missing any minute whatsoever. AEW coming fresh off of the heels of the Revolution pay-per-view event, hearing some really good positive news right now as far as what's going on with the numbers for their pay-per-view buy rates and everything. It looks like with regards to their pay-per-view buy rates, it's up substantially compared to the previous set of pay-per-views that they did. So mad props for AEW. I honestly would like to get more concrete numbers and find out exactly how did they do. But, it is what it is. But this is the first AEW Dynamite that we're getting post-Revolution. What is going on with Chris Jericho and his status with the company? Is he still gonna be with AEW during this time frame, or is he getting ready to go run off with Fozzy for another tour? What exactly is going on? I mean, we heard all of these rumblings pretty much going into Revolution. And when it comes to Jericho and Fozzy, if you notice, everybody else was commenting about it, dirt sheets and all that. If you notice, I didn't say anything about Jericho touring Fozzy and any of that. And you know why? It's because just when we think we know what's going on with Jericho's schedule, he throws us a switcheroo. He puts a monkey wrench into things, and all of a sudden, oh, well, we thought it was going to go down this way, but oh no, it's actually going down this way. Okay, gotcha. So for me, I've learned over the years that when it comes to Jericho and trying to predict what's about to happen with him next, in and outside of the ring, just kick back and just let everything play out the way it's going to play out. Be optimistic. I know a lot of you guys were probably under the impression that Jericho wasn't even going to show up on tonight's Dynamite. I remain as optimistic as possible, and seeing Jon Moxley coming out there, new AEW World Champion, good reaction from the crowd and everything, ate that up. He's going to be a fighting champion, and honestly, that's what AEW needs at this time. They need a fighting champion. Not to say that Jericho wasn't a fighting champion, because not for nothing, we did see him in matches of all types. It was just rather rare we saw him defend the AEW championship on TNT. However, Moxley, hey, anybody that wants it, come bring it, right? But Moxley daring Inner Circle because he knows deep down that Jericho is going to be looking for that rematch. He knows that he's not done with the Inner Circle, not by a stretch. And he wants for them to, hey, you guys got unfinished business with me? That's all fine and dandy. Come on out. Bring it. You can bring it. I dare you. And be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. Inner Circle did come on out there. Jericho leading the pack, and I was kind of under the impression when I first heard the music there, just for a brief little tidbit, I was kind of under the impression, well, maybe it's not going to be Jericho. Maybe it's just going to be everybody else of the Inner Circle, and while Jericho is away, maybe Sammy Guevara will slide in there and officially be the new mouthpiece or something of that nature. But there he was, lo and behold, Jericho leading the pack, as always. Great seeing him. And Jericho pretty much telling Moxley, yeah, hey, I'm still the champion. I don't need no stinking belt to make me the champion. I don't need that. I'm the champion regardless. Pretty much confirming what Moxley was saying. Yeah, you're right. We're not done with you. We aren't done with anybody. It doesn't matter who you are. If you're part of the AEW roster, yeah, you're in our crosshairs for sure. So we saw a little bit of a wager put out there by Jericho tonight. Jericho telling Moxley, look, main event tonight, you teaming up with Darby Allin against me and Sammy Guevara. If you are not able to just not only beat me, but if I can't have you in such a beaten fashion where you're not able to walk out of this arena at your own accord, I will leave AEW. Hell, I'll leave AEW for 30 days. Hell, I'll tell you what, I'll leave AEW for 60 days. So you hear that, you go, wait a minute, here we go teasing. And right on cue, you got the fans saying, fuck Fozzy. I tell you, the one time, and I know they meant that with love. I know what they really mean is, hey man, you're just so freaking white hot right now. We don't need you going on tour right now. We need you right here. I get what the fans were really chanting. I get the sentiments behind how they were really feeling. But it's a very interesting position, and kind of following up on what I had said earlier on social media, and shout out to those of you I was interacting with on Twitter. As always, when the shows are on, that's mainly where I'm interacting with folks here and there and just really kicking back, reading what everybody is saying. But as I said on Twitter earlier tonight, I say, yeah, Jericho may no longer be the champion. Now, that's something that I really did not get a chance to talk about on the AEW Revolution post show, which is now that the championship has changed hands. As far as if you were to pick my brain and say, Lee, do you think the timing of this is so bad that the title is off of Jericho right now? I would say to you, it is kind of bad. It is. It is bad from the standpoint of this guy, Jericho. He's just so freaking charismatic. He's so freaking energetic. Plays off of everybody so well. And he's got one of the best entrances that's out there right now. Every single time he comes out there, people are in the palm of his hand singing along to it and everything. And now we got this situation where we are going to, we've gotten the tease tonight, but in some form, we're going to be dealing with Jericho not being as consistent as he has been on the AEW roster for the next little bit while he's trying to juggle Fozzy at the same time. And everybody that has been following the band Fozzy for a long period of time knows that on top of doing North American dates, Fozzy also does many dates outside of the US. And over the years, they have become more and more popular outside the US. I mean, Australia, Germany. I mean, they are really, really popular outside the US. So, but you can't rely on the likes of Jericho forever. You're going to get to that point where next man up. That's what it's all about. And not for nothing, but for what he's been able to do for them. What is Jericho now? Jericho is 49, going on 50, if I'm not mistaken. I'm actually looking at his age right now here on social media here. I'm actually looking at his age right now. Hey, he's 49 years old. He's going to be 50 this November. So, I mean, not for nothing, but for everything that he's been able to do, I know at first it was a case of, this old guy, come on. But yeah, it's very interesting, I must say, to compare Jericho's run as champion. And I see that everybody wants to compare Jericho to Goldberg, and I think that's an unfair comparison to make. And I'll explain to you the reason why. It's an unfair comparison to make because Goldberg has essentially been a part-timer since he's been back with the WWE this go round. Whereas Jericho, all of these decades, he has been consistent. He has been consistent like a mofo. He has, when he's been involved in pro wrestling, he has been involved in it full time, very passionately, through and through. And then, not for nothing, but he's given us so many memorable matches. He's given us so many memorable moments, so many good, memorable moments. Very seldom have we as fans criticized a Jericho match because we didn't particularly care about the physical execution that was displayed by Jericho. Very seldom do we bomb a Jericho match. Some would even make the argument that the match he had against Cody wasn't good, wasn't bad either. Seen better performances from Jericho. It's obvious that his age is definitely catching up to him and everything. But the other thing with Bill Goldberg, you got to remember, Bill Goldberg reached a point in his life where he was very bitter about the wrestling business. And as a result of being so bitter about the wrestling business, he walked away. Anytime you brought up pro wrestling, he spit on it and he verbally bashed the hell out of any and everybody associated. They don't have anything to do with it. So he turned his back on pro wrestling. Wasn't really until his wife and really his son came along did he start opening up to it a little bit more, and honestly was trying to make amends, and pretty much the rest is history and everything. But you also have to factor in the move sets of these guys as well, because Goldberg, come on, man. Anybody that has truly been a wrestling fan for the past 30 plus years and more, Goldberg has never been one of those type of guys to go out there. I'm going to give you a 40-minute match, or I'm going to give you a 20-minute match. Goldberg has never been, never, never. Jericho, yeah, he fits that. So to do that comparison, it's a bit unfair. It really, really is. And we need to stop with the comparisons, because both of these guys, for their tenure as respected champions, it was fitting a particular need that respected promotion needed for that time of season. So the comparisons really do need to stop. But in AEW, next man up, that's what it's essentially all about and everything. So we did have that main event match for the night. Again, it was Darby Allin teaming up with Jon Moxley to take on Sammy Guevara and Chris Jericho. And, great matchup. Jericho, Guevara going over, but I got a bit of a bone to pick with that main event match, which is this. Okay, so we get to that main event match, and I know we're kind of going sporadic, but, one of my New Year's resolutions in 2020 is to try to do my best to not just, and then this move happened and that move happened, and, if you need all the nitty gritty stuff like that, you guys nowadays, who doesn't have cable or satellite provider? I know you guys can easily just go and you can watch what happened with some of your favorite shows. But what I want to talk about is just some key points that caught my interest, good or bad. One of the things I didn't like about the main event match is this, where when the match was underway and you go through all the entrances and everything, you have Darby Allin, who's waiting on Moxley to come on out. And, you hear Moxley's music and everything, and Moxley is being attacked by 3 Max guys. So you're going, who the hell are these guys? Are they maybe part of the Dark Order? Or what the hell is going on right here? And then it's revealed it's Santana, Ortiz, and Jack Hager. You go, oh, okay, all right, they're trying to even out the odds and everything. Now, at this time, you've got Sammy Guevara, Jericho, Darby. Darby is watching everything that's going on via the Titantron. Kind of wondering, what the hell? What do I do? What do I do? What the hell's going on? What do I do? He's looking at the referee, and the referee's just throwing his hands up like, I don't know what to tell you. So you're seeing all this pan out, and you're going, well, wait a minute now. Darby Allin, that's your tag partner. So it's a 3-on-1 beatdown right now going on somewhere around the concession area. Well, Darby, the match hasn't started yet. The bell hasn't even rung. Don't you think it makes all the sense in the world to, I don't know, maybe run back there? Now, look, this isn't the fault of any of the wrestlers. It's not any of their faults. I'm just saying, from a creative standpoint, that was kind of sloppy, because it would have made all the sense in the world to see Darby Allin try to run backstage, and then maybe Jericho gets on the microphone and says, yeah, boy, go ahead, run on back there, help out your tag partner. That's right, referee. Hey, if he's not going to be here for this match and we're here, that's a forfeit, ain't it not? Ain't it not? Like, seriously. So you could have played one angle out that way. Another angle that you could have played out was Darby Allin runs backstage to try to go help Jon Moxley. They beat the crap out of him as well. Jericho and Guevara, they eventually are not that far behind, just when it's kind of looking as though Moxley and Allin are able to even up the odds. Here comes Guevara and Jericho beating the crap out of both of these guys now. And then to see Jericho and Guevara team up, hey, yeah, keep taking care of Moxley. We'll take care of this little runt right here. Bring the action into the ring, then call for the bell. That's fine if you want to do it that way. Or another thing you could have did, since Darby Allin was already there, the bell hasn't rung yet. Remember, Guevara's had smashed the throat of Darby Allin with his own skateboard. So, hey, you should still be kind of pissed off about that. You couldn't talk for a couple of days. Who knows? Maybe you couldn't go downtown on your woman for several days as a result of that, right? You couldn't eat some of your favorite foods. You couldn't lick ice cream the same way for a couple of days, whatever the case may be. All right, here you are. You're supposed to be this sick, twisted, sadistic son of a bitch. You should be going for foreign objects and all that. Okay, well, if they're going to go the dirty route, well, shoot, I know how to play the dirty tactics as well. Let me go ahead and, but we didn't see that play out. And to see that play out, Jericho and Gervais do a little divide and conquer till ultimately they're able to get their hands on Allen, then ring the bell. You know, I hate to be I know sometimes I can be a stickler for detail, but that for me was very, very, very critical. They got to do a better job in tightening it up. But I mean, other than that, the handicap tag match, it was good. You know, Inner Circle, it kind of looked as though maybe Darby Allin was possibly going to get it there, but numbers game. It was just way too much, way too much. And then CM Moxley come out at the end, trying to get the big comeback on all those guys. But once again, the Inner Circle numbers, much too much. They're owning his ass. Fight goes up to the stage ramp area and they put him through an announcer's table. All of those guys giving him the middle finger. And that's how you end AEW Dynamite. That was awesome. That was awesome. I couldn't think of a more cooler way to end the show for the night. Because, I mean, from the beginning, even in the middle to the end, the way everything was just paced tonight with the show, excuse me, it was fantastic. It was fantastic. And once again, if you're tuning in live, you're not seeing me in the flesh right now. For those of you that are used to watching me on the webcast version of the show, I am still down with the flu. I'm about 70% better. I look like shit right now. I've been dealing with cold chills and the whole 9 yards. Look, the weather over here in the DC metropolitan area, we're in the 60s right now. It's very pleasant, but I am so cold. I am in a bathrobe as we speak. My eyes are bloodshot red, baggy as I don't know what. I'm telling you, you would not want to see how I'm looking right now. I'm looking pretty bad, but I really ain't got no business doing the show, but we got a couple of sponsors that, you know, promised them we were going to be putting some content out there tonight. You know, got some bills to pay, so we're going to do about an hour strong, and whatever we're not able to cover, if I'm feeling up to it, feeling a lot better towards the weekend, I will definitely give you guys another hour plus of some content. But let's keep on rocking and let's keep on rolling for now. See, another thing that happened on AEW Dynamite tonight, Jake the Snake Roberts, WWE Hall of Famer, Jake the Snake Roberts. And mind you, this was his AEW Dynamite debut. But we have history with Jake Roberts, and I'm not really sure how many of you guys remember this, but you got to rewind it back to the AEW Casino Battle Royale. You got to rewind it back all the way to that, at All Out. And remember when you had this guy that was a dealer and he was dealing all the different type of cards for the Casino Battle Royal. You know, who drew what, you know, what, you know, were they a club? Were they ace? Were they a heart? And you remember there was a dealer. He was smoking a cigarette and he was just passing out the cards. That was Jake Roberts. Now, I can't remember if he said anything because it was a brief little cameo. I think when you added up his camera time, just from what I can remember of the pay-per-view and everything leading up to it, seemed like maybe you got about 10, maybe 15 seconds total of Jake Roberts. If he said anything, I can't remember it because it's been so long ago now. So it's not as though, oh man, you know, he's had dealings with AEW, Cody, the Bucks and the Boys. He's had business with them before. It's just, hey, officially, this is the first time now we're seeing him on AEW Dynamite, and he looks good as always. I love the fact that a major wrestling promotion is rolling the dice and they are giving him an opportunity. I think for many, many years now, he has been more than worthy of an opportunity to, all right, you've been clean now for this period of time. You had a couple of hiccups here and there, but for the most part, you've been on the straight and narrow path. All right, let's see what you can do. And all he needed was really an opportunity and to essentially follow up on what he's been saying for years to try and give back to the business and everything. And his timing was perfect because he got a classic verbal encounter there with Cody Rhodes. Cody, pretty salty over the WMJF, got over him. Hey, when it's all said and done, MJF did what he did. It wasn't fair and square, so he's a bit salty over that. And Jake Roberts came on now, calling him a little crying, little punk bitch over that. And he called him Caesar. I was rolling over that. Oh, Caesar. Hey, Caesar. I was loving all of that. That whole crap had me chuckling. But he got down to business explaining why he was there. He was there because there is a client that he's representing. And that when his client does finally appear, basically his client is going to mop the floor with Cody. Oh, and about your little one-trick pony, Double A, Arn Anderson, psh, I ain't tripping over him. I got him. I'm telling you, to see Jake Roberts' exchange with Cody, I was just smiling from ear to ear like the little kid that I was back in the 80s. Because, yeah, as much as I liked Hulkamania and all that other shit, man, I was big into when Sergeant Slaughter went heel and he joined the Sheik and all that. I was a big fan of all that. I was a big fan of Andre the Giant, $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, Jake the Snake Roberts, and the mind games that he was playing and everything. And even though Undertaker made me cry with his entrance back in the day, and all little kids cried when Undertaker, you got to go back and see, it's the most hilarious. Now when you look back on it, it's the most hilarious shit that you see when you look at it today, but that's just how spooky he really came off back then. For me, Jake Roberts, you want to talk about one of the best in-ring psychologists to ever lace up a pair of boots. You want to talk about one of the greatest promo guys of all time. He is that guy. And to see Jake Roberts out there, Jake Roberts can still hang with the best of them. That's the type of opportunity I'm talking about. And, look, I know Vicky Guerrero had went on record on her podcast and talked about how WWE, they're being very petty now as far as granting her interviews with WWE superstars. They basically are, no, you're blacklisted because you did that one little thing with AEW and now you're essentially blacklisted. I think that's petty as fuck, and I don't really have anything much else to make out of it, except should we have expected less when it's all said and done? And to kind of follow up on what she said on the podcast, I'm paraphrasing here, but what was she supposed to do? Was she supposed to just continue to sit on her ass and hope that WWE was maybe going to pick up the phone? And she wasn't under any type of a deal whatsoever. So what exactly was she supposed to do? So I look at Jake Roberts and I remember the one time that WWE had tapped into Jake Roberts. They tapped into him. It was on a Raw Baltimore show, Baltimore, Maryland show. Because I remember we were on this very show that Monday night when Raw went off the air. And I remember bashing the fuck out of the Baltimore crowd because I was expecting a better reaction. Because if I remember it right, it was a Legends edition of Monday Night Raw. It felt like maybe it was 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago. It felt like somewhere between that time frame. But I just remember ripping that Baltimore crowd and everything, and particularly I remember ripping them over Jake the Snake. Here he was in the flesh. This was Jake the Snake Roberts' first time back in a WWE ring in years. Years. And for whatever respected reason, after that one night, they never went back to Jake Roberts again. And I was a little disappointed with that. Yeah, you saw him here and there on a couple of little WWE network things, but it wasn't at the full throttle. If there was ever an opportunity to, okay, hey, let's do a WWE 24 on Jake Roberts. Let's do this with Jake Roberts. There was nothing. There was nothing over the years. So what the hell was Jake Roberts supposed to do? Jake Roberts could tell you any and everything that's going on with all the major promotions that's happening. And I mean, his mind is still as sharp as ever. So for AEW to, hey, you know what? Let's pick this guy up. Now the $1 million question. Who's the client that Jake Roberts is representing? A lot of people had went with Matt Hardy, but understand something. I know a lot of you guys, that would be an interesting combination. I'm not shitting on it. That would be an interesting combination. But feel me for a second on this. Combine what Matt Hardy had said on YouTube with the interview that he did on Busted Open Radio. Matt Hardy, it's safe to say, we are going to see, once again, Broken Hardy. For him to not tap into that again, that still has a lot of mileage to it. That thing made him one of the hottest free agents out there on the independent scene. Any and every promotion was wanting him. His brilliance with that, it was awesome. Matt Hardy does not need a mouthpiece. He is more than good. With what he is able to do with that, Rebby helping him and everything, he's good. So, as far as Jake Roberts representing Matt Hardy, I'm not seeing that. Now, the two names that jump out to me that I think a lot of you all should be, I think the man formerly known as Luke Harper, I think that is somebody that you all need to be going, and I think those two would be a very, very interesting combination. A very interesting combination. Luke Harper, of course, formerly known as Brody Lee, on the Independence there. Yeah, I would love to see that combination. And then not for nothing, you could also do something with Lance Archer. I know Lance Archer had signed to AEW. He's another one. Look, Lance is good in the ring. He is good in the ring. I've watched him off and on for some years, seen some of his stuff in New Japan and everything. He's good, but as far as a talker, scale of 1 to 10, I give him a 6. He usually averages a 6. Sometimes he can give you a 7. Nothing memorable, just enough to get over. He would benefit tremendously from Jake Roberts. Tremendously. So those are the two names that I really think you all need to just have in the back of your head and everything. Speaking of Brody Lee, Lance Archer, another thing that was kind of teased going into tonight was, hey, what's going on with this Exalted One? Matt Hardy making the announcement earlier in the week. He's not re-signing with the WWE, and more power to him. As far as where I personally would like to see him end up, I personally would like to see him with a promotion that would definitely give him the creative freedom that he needs and he can definitely maximize on. And as much as I would like to see him in MLW or NWA, one of the things that we have to remember as fans is, all right, well, NWA, that typically runs about 45 minutes to about 50 something minutes. So I probably wouldn't quite work out. MLW, as much as I love MLW, that's about 45 minutes. So, that really wouldn't work out. AEW, considering they have gotten the green light for a second show on TNT. Remember how it was back in the day when we had Monday Night Nitro and we had Thunder? There was a lot more talents that we were able to see on those shows that we normally wouldn't been able to see because there was only but so much you could squeeze in on Monday Nitro. So when Nitro had came along, so for me, I'm hoping that AEW is where he ends up. And I think he would just have a lot of fun. I mean, all signs really seem to indicate that, especially when you look at the final Free to Delete. I won't spoil that for you guys that didn't watch it yet. Yes, I do watch that. I love watching his Free to Delete series, anything that he puts out there. But we kept getting the tease about the Exalted One from AEW, and it was almost mirroring every time Matt was saying something about his status with the WWE, but then just when you think that, Exalted One, okay, then you've got Luke Harper, Brody Lee, you got him saying, as always, it's Wednesday, you know what that means, and then you've got AEW going, it's Wednesday, you're kind of, wait a minute here. So they are playing a really good psychological game right now with the fans. Your guess is as good as mine on who it could possibly be. That's going to be the Exalted One. But we did see Evil Uno. Hey, Purple, shout out to you. Thank you for the kind words. And yes, it was a really good, both shows. They did really good this week with what they did. They did phenomenal this week. We saw Evil Uno in a losing effort against the I'm trying to think of their names right now. Frankie Kazarian, Christopher Daniels, Scorpio Sky, SCU, and Colt Cabana. Yeah, we saw Evil Uno. He had teamed up with John Silver. I can't believe the guy's name is John Silver. You guys got to forgive me. I just caught that. And I'm just going, oh, like the seafood restaurant chain. All right, cool. Evil Uno, John Silver, Stu Grayson. I forgot the name of the last guy, but it was basically a 4-on-4 tag match. SCU, Colt Cabana coming out on top. Evil Uno pretty pissed off, saying, no. This is not going to make the Exalted One happy. Not at all. He will not be pleased with this, and very soon you all will feel his wrath. And I thought that was interesting that he said he, because, and shout out to Jim Ross and them, when they were on commentating, they were teasing the hell and talking about the Exalted One, and they kept saying him or her. Who are they exactly? And so to hear Evil Uno refer to the Exalted One as he, so now you go, okay, so now we know that in fact it is a he. Man, it's a great time to be looking at the AEW product right now, because you got so many of these people that in Colt Cabana, and then eventually Lance Archer. Now you got Jake the Snake, a nice throwback, if you will, that's into the mix. Possibly Matt Hardy coming in there and everything. It's very interesting what's going on. I know last week there was somebody online that said something along the lines of, I wish there was more diversity in AEW. And basically they were saying, I wish there was more blacks. And I'm looking at this guy's profile. Why are you complaining? You're white. What have you got to complain about? Let us minorities, if we have a beef, let us be the ones to, and if you ask this minority, I feel that AEW has the minorities that they have right now, not just from a black perspective, but Chinese or Korean or Hispanic. They've got the minorities that they have right now. What they need to do is make sure they're doing their very best, humanly possible, to put them in prominent positions. Now, what they're doing with Nyla Rose, they're doing all right. What they're doing with Sammy Guevara, hey, they're doing all right. I would like to see more on the horizon for Scorpio Sky, because I definitely see something in him. I'm not sure if it's World Heavyweight Championship material, but if there was maybe a secondary title, like a TV title or something of that nature, I could definitely see him sliding to that position without a doubt. I would definitely need to see more of Sonny Kiss. I ain't forgot about Sonny Kiss. Definitely need to see more of Sonny Kiss, but they got the right amount of people of all diversities right now. Now you just need to figure out how to make what you have work, and how when the second show gets ready to launch, how the people that you're not currently utilizing on a regular basis is going to properly be utilized on that second show, and how both shows will then still be able to complement each other. So you got to figure it all out like that. Other matches that had came about tonight: Big Swole, speaking of diversity and everything, we did see Big Swole in a squash match against Leva Bates. Looking pretty good there. Good match. Wish he would have went a little bit longer, because after all, Leva Bates, she's pretty solid. Good in-ring veteran. She's pretty solid. Pac defeated Chuck Taylor. Post-match, we had saw the Lucha Brothers attack Orange Cassidy and Chuck Taylor. Who's the other guy? Trent Beretta. Yeah, so they attacked Trent Beretta. And Pac got on the microphone and introduced Pac and the Lucha Brothers' new alliance. They're calling themselves the Death Triangle. And the Death Triangle, they are going to be seeing action next week. I forgot who they're going to be taking on. Also, we're going to learn more information on the upcoming special edition episode of AEW Dynamite Blood and Guts. We're going to learn about the rules for that special event. Also next week, Jurassic Express is going to be taking on MJF, Butcher, and the Blade. We saw MJF cutting one hell of a promo on Cody Rhodes, how he beat him and everything. He even had the, hey, I beat up Cody Rhodes, or I pinned Cody. That was the shirt. It was good. It was good. Pre-production joint, it was good. One little gripe, again, I'm a stickler for detail. I don't know if they were using a camera phone of some type to record that, and then in post-production using whatever app, be it on the phone or be it on desktop, to clean it up, brighten it, sharpen, nice filter, and jazz it up and all that. But it came out of focus many times. And that is just annoying as I don't know what for me, especially when I've gone out of my way to get a brand new 72-inch flat screen TV, and I'm trying to see stuff in the best high definition as humanly possible. And I'm looking at this and I'm going, is something wrong with my cable connection? What's going on? Yeah, it's one thing if it happens for about 2 seconds, but when it lasts longer than 5 seconds and I'm noticing it to the point that I'm noticing it, then that's an issue. That's an issue for me. But despite that, it was a pretty good little pre-produced segment that they put together there for MJF. And by the way, sidebar, folks, kindly want to remind you that when you are going to a meet and greet to see some of your favorite wrestlers, your favorite stars, let me tell you something. Do not expect for a heel to be reacting to you and your loved ones a certain way when it comes to seeing them in person. I say that because I see MJF made headlines. He was doing a meet and greet. This father comes in with his son. Kid looks like he's probably, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 years old. And they're getting ready to pose for a photo and all that. And MJF throws up the middle finger to the little kid. And the dad is laughing and all that other shit. And all of a sudden, rather than complain to MJF about it, he runs to social media like a punk little bitch. And he complains to Cody about, hey, I was kind of stunned, I got to say. And I tried to kind of talk to MJ. You don't kind of talk to him. You either talk to the man or you didn't talk to the man. And if the man blew you off nonchalantly or whatever like that, as far as I'm concerned, he's staying in character. He is staying in character. So you running like a bitch, going to Cody and Khan and tagging them, and look, shout out to how Cody and them had handled that. Hey, what you see on TV is what you get with MJF. But hey, we'll give you a nice little VIP experience. Way to stay face, Cody. I commend how he had handled that whole situation. That was awesome. But I'm sorry, 9 times out of 10, my little kid, if I were to have a kid, 6, 7, 8 years old, I you know, I, and I know enough about MJF because I'm watching the product and I'm seeing what this person is saying on social media. Whereas my kid, that young, I'm not giving my 6, 7, 8 year old access to Twitter and Facebook. I'm not giving them access. To each its own. But I'm not giving my kid access to social media platforms like that. Not until they are at least 13, 14. That way they are very comprehensive in right and wrong, knowing what to post, don't post that, right? So for me, okay, we're gonna go see MJF. Let's really break that down. I want to see MJF. I am the fan of MJF. Look, this is what I don't understand. Why didn't this parent whisper to MJF, "Hey dude, if you could do me a huge solid. I know you like staying in character 24/7, but with regards to this photo op, if you could not do anything obscene, hand gestures or anything like that, I would greatly appreciate it. It would mean a lot." And I'm sure if he would have just broken it down just like that. I've been to enough autograph signings, photo ops. I've done enough of them, covered enough of them to know that when you have that moment of seconds with that person that you idolize, that you're a fan of, you've got that time to say a little something to them. So I'm quite sure, I'd be a betting man that if he would have went heart to heart like that with MJF would have been like, yeah, sure, no problem. But you do that punk ass, I mean, come on. Come on. The guy is notorious for staying in character 24/7. To expect anything less, silly rabbit. That's all I have to say. Silly rabbit. MJF, keep doing you. MJF is a nice fucking throwback. He really is. I can't help but wonder how he would have thrived in the 70s and the 80s. I can't help but wonder that. I definitely, depending on the promotion, I definitely would do my best to keep him away from the Hulk Hogan's and all that, but I can't help but wonder how he would have thrived. I really can't help but wonder. He would have been a good honorable member of the Four Horsemen. I can tell you that. He would have been a damn good honorable member in there. I think he would have done phenomenally well. I could see him feuding with a Ricky Steamboat. I could see him working, and maybe it's because of what I saw of him recently in dealing with the current generation of Von Erichs. I could definitely see him back in the day, dealing with the legendary Von Erichs that's no longer with us. I can see him just, that'd be a fucking field day. That would be a fucking field day. See, anything else I want to cover tonight for AEW? Just looking at the rest of the card here. QT Marshall, Jack Hager, they had a match. Jack Hager pretty much tapping out QT Marshall, much like he did to Dustin, aka Goldust. Had a assault galore that went down afterwards, as you had Santana, Ortiz. They all were beating the crap out of QT Marshall and Dustin. Cody comes in for the save, but Inner Circle members there. Numbers game, too much. Then Matt Jackson comes in there. He starts to get his ass whooped a little bit. Then you have Hangman Adam Page, beer and all. He's coming out there assessing the situation. Santana and Ortiz, they're kind of wondering. Hager as well. What's going on with this guy? We don't really have to worry about him. He's so fucking drunk. We're good. He quietly puts his beer down in one corner of the ring and then proceeds to whoop Inner Circle's ass. Beautiful stuff. Finishes his beer off just when we think we're going to see a nice little get together with all of these guys. Adam Page, still pretty salty, rolls out the ring, grabs a fan's beer. There's a guy that does not give a shit about the coronavirus, folks. He does not care what's going on. You got beer, he wants some of your beer. Give him whatever you got in your cup. Yum, 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 give him some. So that's kind of hilarious right there. Let's see, anything else? No, that was pretty much it. They had about 5 matches this week. NXT, they did pretty good this week as well. Tegan Nox, Dakota Kai kicking things off in their steel cage match. That was a phenomenal steel cage match. Dakota Kai coming out of that with a little bit of help from her girl Gonzalez. Gonzalez, a major factor in the closing moments of the matchup as Tegan Nox, Kai were fighting on top of the steel cage. Tegan Nox kicking Dakota Kai off of the steel cage. She falls inside of the ring, does Dakota Kai. And as this is happening, Tegan Nox tries to climb over the steel cage, but Gonzalez down there trying to use her size and posture to intimidate Nox into dropping to the floor and everything. So at that point, you see Dakota Kai, she's trying to hurry up and make her exit. Nox somehow manages to use the steel cage door, kind of get that hitting the face of Dakota Kai as she's trying to figure out how to make her exit. Somehow in the midst of all of this, she was able to take out Gonzalez for a hot second, but Gonzalez rebounds. Once again, the stare down between her, Nox, very smart. And it was a nice, awesome finish that they did. Nox has the steel cage door used on her by Gonzalez as Nox is now trapped inside, or not inside, but Nox is trapped between the steel cage door and the steel cage wall itself. Like, if you remove the steel cage, she has 2 choices. She's either going to fall to the surface or she's just going to continue to dangle on the steel cage. And what Gonzalez did right there and just smashing her in between the steel cage while she's still laying, upper body that is, laying on the door and everything, setting up Dakota Kai to hurry up, slither her way under the bottom rope, exit that way, pick up the W. It was smart booking how they did that. That was a great finish. Love that. Gotta give them props. That was pretty clever how they did that one. Laurel Van Ness defeated Shotzi Blackheart. Laurel Van Ness. Love me some Laurel Van Ness. She is, is all I gotta say. Keith Lee, Cameron Grimes. Turns out William Regal approved a match for these two as they're going to be locking it up next week for the North American Championship. Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, they defeated Danny Burch and Oney Larkin. You know, Bobby Fish and O'Reilly, they got unfinished business with the Bruiserweights. They want another shot at the NXT tag titles. We did see the Bruiserweights come out and say, hey, if you guys want another shot at the tag titles, you guys got it, no problem. They got attacked, however, did the NXT tag champions. They got attacked from behind by the Grizzled Young Stallions. As far as the Grizzled Young Stallions is concerned, hey, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, out with the old and in with the new Grizzled Young Stallions, your soon-to-be new NXT champion. So the way that's kind of going right now, that could very well be a triple threat match. Verdict is still out on Grizzled Young Stallions. I'm still out on them because they're okay, but I gotta watch them a little more. It's the personalities. You guys gotta forgive me. It's the personalities. It's not quite clicking with me just yet. Almost kind of like if I had to choose between Grizzled Young Stallions, veterans, almost like if I had to choose between them and Cameron Grimes. Cameron Grimes, I can't quite put my finger on him. It was great to hear the crowd with their little anti-chants. They didn't care for him. But at the same time, I can't help but wonder, okay, does he have good go away heat or does he have bad go away heat? That's what I really couldn't quite figure out about Cameron Grimes. And Cameron Grimes is somebody I've been watching since Impact Wrestling. I remember him when he was Andrew Everett and everything. And I was pretty high on him back then. I remember when I can't remember the name of the other dude. Was it Caleb Conley? I can't remember the name of the other dude, but I remember they had that brief little period there where they were being managed by Hurricane Shane Helms and everything. And I was liking all of that. I was liking, he stood out to me. I liked him a lot. But with this current gimmick, your guess is as good as mine. Is it go away heat? Is it good heat? I don't know what's going on with that. Austin Theory defeated Scott Swerve. It's actually a pretty damn good matchup. Probably the moment of the night for me was the Mauro Ranallo Johnny Gargano interview. I couldn't believe that Mauro was really able to go as in depth as he was able to go with Johnny Gargano here, because I thought this was just going to be your traditional question interview type of deal, but we saw a very tempered Johnny Gargano lash out at Mauro. And it was some of the most beautiful. I miss interviews like that because it gave me shades of when Jim Ross sat down that first time and was trying to interview Kane. And Kane had set him on fire and everything. You just hear the audio in the background of JR. Oh, God, oh, and all that. And yeah, I liked how they had did this. And I'm really surprised that with Mauro being bipolar and, he has his moments and everything, I'm just really surprised that he was willing to really take it up a notch. And what I mean by that, for those of you that didn't watch it, Johnny Gargano at one point got physical with Mauro. I mean, he grabbed on his blazer, was jerking him towards him. I mean, he got that kind of physical with him, and Mauro just sold the hell out of it. And I love how the temperament of Gargano escalated. And he almost went into this snapping, sadistic type of mentality. It starts off, hey, I have a lot of respect for you, Mauro. You know that. And hey, who was there for your red carpet when it came to your documentary? Oh, you were there for me. That's something that I have never even forgotten, and I'll always love and respect and appreciate you for that. And and it's like he's answering Mauro. That is, he's answering the questions, but Johnny just keeps asking these questions upon questions. Then finally, what's the striking nerve is when Gargano says to him, "You don't lie, do you, Mauro? You're not a liar, are you?" And Mauro goes, No, I'm not. Yeah, you're honest, aren't you? Yeah. And he called his bullshit card on that one, because remember when Johnny Gargano screwed Tommaso Ciampa out of the NXT championship, what was one of the things that Mauro had said? Mauro called Johnny Gargano a son of a bitch, called him Johnny Turncoat, and Johnny Gargano, remember that, threw that all up in Mauro's face, and you just started to see Mauro get uncomfortable real freaking quick. I love how all of that was set up. But the $1 million question, why? Why did Johnny Gargano do what he did to Tommaso? He didn't give an answer. As far as he's concerned, Mauro and everybody else, they know the reason why. But as far as these continued mind games go, Tommaso is going to have to wait until next week when everything continues to be on Gargano's terms, because he knows that Tommaso wants to get a piece of him and everything. So next week, we're going to kind of have some type of an idea on what the future is going to hold for those two guys, locking it up once again. We did have our main event match of the night, Velveteen Dream taking on Roderick Strong, steel cage match. Pretty damn good matchup. Got to give both guys a lot of props for that one. And it looks like at the same time that we had this very heated rivalry come about. We did see a cameo there by Adam Cole. NXT champion currently, and Adam Cole trying to help out his boy Roderick Strong. He got a little piece of freaking Velveteen Dream as well as closing moments of that matchup. I'm not going to give you guys the full skinny results on everything that had went down in the match and everything, but the closing moments of that one, Adam Cole, he did come out, climbed over the steel cage and everything, was trying to help out Roderick Strong, but trying to remember what happened with that one. I remember there was a Dream Valley driver that Velveteen Dream had did. And I'm trying to think, folks. Give me a second. I think he did a purple Rainmaker in there, if I remember it right. Yeah, he wanted to do a purple Rainmaker off the top, but that's when Wrestle Undisputed came out. He got down, grabbed a kendo stick, stopping Bobby Fish, knocks out Kylie O'Reilly off the cage as well. Adam Cole, he got in there. He got tossed across the ring. Strong is stopped on his way out the door, but Dream turns back looking at Cole, and he purposely shoved Strong to the outside. From there, Dream locks the cage door, turns his attention strictly to Adam Cole, and Dream just freaking assaulted the hell out of him. Comes back to Strong, goes back to Cole. He's just hitting them back and forth with the kendo sticks. And everything pretty much ended with Roderick Strong somehow winning that amongst all of that chaos. Somehow Roderick Strong ended up winning, but it was really Velveteen Dream that was out on top as the victor, because he pretty much had everybody laid out as he's on top of the steel cage with the NXT World Heavyweight Championship. So you're kind of going, well, we kind of know what's next right here, don't we? Not by a long shot is Velveteen Dream done with the Undisputed Era. He's extracted to a certain degree revenge on Roderick Strong. And by the way, I thought it was kind of cool how, if I remember it right, Roderick Strong's wife came out, how that kendo stick got introduced in the first place was freaking Roderick Strong's wife coming down the ringside and was handing Roderick Strong the kendo stick in between the steel cage there while Velveteen Dream was down for a bit. But it was pretty good. It was pretty good. Not disappointed one little bit with both shows tonight. Both shows did pretty damn good. I do have a poll that's up asking you guys, what did you think about tonight's NXT and AEW Dynamite? Appreciate everybody that have voted. The poll is exclusive on Twitter tonight. Wanted to keep it as simple as possible. I'm seeing on Twitter here with regards to NXT, I see that 6.7% of you all had gave it a thumbs down. Meanwhile, 93.3% of you all gave it a thumbs up. So that's awesome. And for AEW Dynamite tonight, I'm seeing that 21.3% of you gave it a thumbs down. Meanwhile, 78.7% of you gave it a thumbs up. Ratings this week. Let's talk ratings for this week. I was pretty good with the numbers that I had put out for the shows last week. I had posted it on Twitter. I don't think we did a show last Wednesday. I can't recall. But there was something that went down last week. And I just remember saying, yeah, you know what? We didn't do a show last Wednesday from what I recall. But I remember giving you guys the ratings numbers. And I'm going to say for this week, I am going to say that AEW should be able to do... I think they're going to go up again. I think they're going to be NXT again. Post-Revolution, yes, I'm going to give it to them. I will say AEW 889,000. And I'm actually going to type that up as we're talking right now. So for AEW, I'm going to say 889,000. Meanwhile, NXT, I am going to say 700 and I'm going to say 767,000. Yeah, I like those numbers. All right, so once again, AEW, I got them beating NXT this week. I'm going to say 889,000. NXT, I'm going to say 767,000. So we'll see what happens. We'll know in about 15 hours from now, give or take. Or actually, no. We'll know in about, we'll know something by about 2, 3 o'clock Thursday afternoon. We'll know what's going on by then. See, I'm just trying to think if there's some other little tidbits I want to get into, because I see we're almost at about an hour. How long have we been running now? Let me look at the timer here. So I know we had a false start here. Hang on a second. Because I'm looking at the recorder. And okay, so we've gone about an hour and 8 minutes. I'm trying to figure out if I want to go through some more little tidbits for you guys tonight, or if I just want to keep it right here. And I think at this point, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to keep it right here. We're going to pause on that note. And like I said, if I end up feeling a lot better later on during the week, hello, Sean. If I end up feeling a lot better during the week, I will gladly give you guys another hour plus, and we can go over some wrestling little tidbits and all that. I'm not going to chance it. I feel a little better now, but with the flu, I'm not going to risk it. I should really be getting a lot of rest as possible. But before I get ready to roll out, I do want to recognize some of our Patreon members, and I also want to recognize some of our sponsors for tonight's show. Patreon.com/RCWR show. Check that out. For $5 a month, you guys can check out bonus audio, video content, great majority of which you won't be able to find anywhere else. Shout out to Patreon members John Krauser, Sean Kenter, Freddie R. Freddie! Wish I could say that normally, how I normally say it when I'm not sick, but you gotta bear with me, my friend. Shout out to Justin Ripstock. Shout out to Screaming Bullseye 1. If you guys are in need of some really cool wrestling bust sculptures, Screaming Bullseye 1. Hit him up on Twitter. That's Screaming Bullseye 1. Put in the actual number 1. Man, he makes some phenomenal artwork. We're also brought to you in part by Tony Bing Gaming, one of the very latest in all things Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 for Nintendo Switch. Marvel Super War, the new MOBA game, or Marvel Strike Force. Tips, walkthroughs, news, reviews. Tony Bing Gaming. He's got a great YouTube channel, and he's got a great Patreon paywall as well. Check him out. And I do want to recognize our sponsors, our special sponsors. Shout out to the good kind folks behind the movie President Evil. President Evil. Check it out. 3 young girls are stalked by a deranged killer dressed as the President of the United States. Check out the movie. It is available on Amazon. We are also brought to you in part by Leafy Legal Services. Do check them out. If you're a real estate investor or entrepreneur, they can help strategically grow your business successfully. Head on over to leafyassets.com. And we got a new sponsor for tonight. We originally hooked up with them on the AEW Revolution pay-per-view recap, so we're going to continue to work with them for the next couple of shows. Mad shout out to careyes.com. Again, careyes.com. You spell eyes EYEZ as in zebra, so CAREYEZ as in zebra. careyes.com. Check them out. They make a pretty cool and innovative way that you can go about going to their website, registering yourself, which is free. And then if you're in the market for a vehicle, or if you have a vehicle that you're trying to sell and you want to upload images and all the information about your car to their site, you could do all that on their site. It's really cool how they got it set up. So check it up. Great load up time and everything with their site. So appreciate all of these good, kind folks. Love working with all of them. And at this point, I'm going to say your next edition of the RCWR show, it depends. Maybe we can come right back here in about an hour. I wish it was in an hour. That would be crazy if I came back in about an hour. No, what I was trying to say was maybe we could do an hour plus later in the week if I'm feeling up to it, and we can give you guys another show, and we could talk more NWA, of course, because I did tease it there earlier there. Don't think I forgot it. We're already at about an hour 15, that's all. So if I'm feeling up to it later on in the week, and I feel like firing up the webcam so you guys can see me, of course, I will definitely give you guys a hour plus show, and we'll talk some headlines and some other stuff. Otherwise, I will definitely rejoin you guys on Monday, March the 9th, 2020. I'll be back with you all after a new WWE Raw goes off the air. Appreciate the love and support. And once again, for those of you that's going to be checking this out on demand, particularly on the downloads, I appreciate the love and support as always. Thank you. You were able to make it up to this point, knowing that I'm still dealing with the flu. Thank you so much. I really did not want to leave you guys hanging like that because so much kind of went down during the week. I wanted to give you guys a little bit of something. So appreciate that. Meantime, I am going to crawl back under the covers, and I'm going to enjoy me a nice, tall, cool glass of orange juice. And yeah, I'm definitely... What is going on here? Hang on a second here. It's one thing I want to look at here before I get ready to roll out here, because I'm looking at some of the comments here that's in the chat here. And I just want to, if that's the avatar that I think it is, that's fucking hilarious. I'm looking at somebody's avatar in the chat. And if that's who I think it is that's in the avatar, that's pretty fucking funny. Let me just see here. Let me go to YouTube real quick here. I know some of you guys listen to this one demand on the download. You're going, what's he talking about? It's like, you just got to be in the chat and you got to actually see what I'm seeing here. Let's see here. Let's load this up here. That's weird. I don't see it. That's weird. I don't see that. Let me try this again here. Hang on here. I'm trying to open up this one. You know, what I wish YouTube would do is give you the ability to look at people's profiles when you're in the YouTube studio, because I swear to God, this one person that had left a comment, they got a cool looking avatar that's in there, and it kind of looks like somebody, the avatar pic they got, it looks like of somebody that's always getting into some damn controversy online here. Let me see here. Oh, there we go. I can just do it on the phone. There we go. Yeah, I thought I fucking read that. Right. Man, get that out of here. I thought so. Nah, we ain't promoting that guy whatsoever. We're not promoting that guy. Come on, we're not promoting that guy. We got to remove that. I'm glad I'm still on the air. It's like, nah, we're going to remove that. Sorry. You could comment, but like, come on, get a better fucking avatar, dude. Come on. All right. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to wrap it up now. All right. Much love as always. I'm getting the fuck out of here because I'm starting to ramble on. If I don't catch you guys later this week for another hour plus edition, assuming I feel a lot better, then you'll get your next show Monday, March the 9th, 2020, after Raw goes off the yeah, I'm really not feeling it. Goes off the air. I'm out of here. Bye.